Welcome back to the world of Kingdom Rush, but this time things get a whole lot more chaotic. Kingdom Rush Battles TD game isn't your usual tower defense run where you chill, place towers, and hope for the best. Nope. Here, you're thrown into split-screen matches where two players race to survive waves of enemies while constantly sabotaging each other. You can drop extra monsters into your opponent's lane, slow their units, mess with their strategy, or even transform their precious towers into chicken coops. It's competitive, it's messy, and it's hilarious in the best way possible. And because the game throws so much chaos at you, choosing the right towers becomes more important than ever. Heroes help, sure, but towers are the backbone of your defense and the key to outlasting your rival. So in this video, we're diving into which towers actually shine in this wild battlefield, which ones struggle, and which picks can carry you even when your opponent is desperately trying to ruin your day. Let's jump into the Kingdom Rush Battles TD game tower tier list and break down the best options you can rely on. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking towers in Kingdom Rush Battles TD game. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The towers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Royal Archers, Dwarven Artillery, Paladin Barracks, and Archer Tower. You know that moment when you really want to hype up a tower, but the tower itself gives you absolutely nothing to work with? Yeah. Welcome to the B tier of Kingdom Rush Battles, where the towers are not terrible, but also not the kind of teammates you brag about in group chat. Let's walk through these almost cool, but not quite picks. Let's start with the Royal Archers. These guys are rare and operate as classic ranged attackers. And honestly, the only standout feature they have is that they are better than the average tower at knocking flying enemies out of the sky. They also weaken enemy health a little with their passive effect, which sounds impressive until you realize it is basically the gaming equivalent of tapping someone on the shoulder and hoping they fall over. They try. We acknowledge the effort. Next up, the Dwarven Artillery, a common artillery tower that starts strong and then gets tired halfway through the adventure. Like someone who sprints at the beginning of a marathon. They deal great splash damage early on, and they even have a surprisingly fun trick. They can stun enemy towers, although the cooldown on that ability feels longer than waiting for a mobile game energy bar to refill. They are not bad at all, they just slowly lose relevance as the game ramps up. Then we have the Paladin Barracks, another common tower, and these guys exist for one beautiful purpose: buying time. They are stalling machines. Their summoned paladins can heal themselves once you max them out, which sounds epic, but in practice, the heal is not enough to stop them from getting flattened by basically anything stronger than a gust of wind. Still, they do their job, and sometimes that job is simply stand here and look busy. Archer Tower time. This is the most common of the common towers and the most basic ranged option in the entire game. When you upgrade them to the maximum level, they can shoot at your opponent's units, which is cute, but not enough to make them stand out. Think of them as the wooden practice swords of Kingdom Rush Battles. Totally fine when you are learning the game, but the moment you get access to anything remotely more interesting, you immediately trade them in. And that is exactly what defines the B tier. Towers that show potential, maybe even shine a bit early on, but ultimately get overshadowed by flashier, stronger, or more versatile options. They are not failures. They are just the kind of towers you forget you built until you scroll across the map and go, "Oh, right, that was a thing I tried." The towers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Dwarp, Archery Scouts, Holy Sanctuary, Hunter Outpost, Sorcerer Mage, and Mage Tower. You ever meet a tower that walks into the battlefield like, "I may not be perfect, but I absolutely understood the assignment"? That is the entire A tier. These towers are dependable, flexible, and sometimes surprisingly spicy, even if they fall just short of being game-breaking. Let's dive into the elite, but not quite godlike crew. Let's kick things off with Dwarp, the epic artillery tower that screams crowd control is life. Its big claim to fame is stunning everything around it. And when you take it to maximum level, it does not just stop enemies. Oh no, it also stuns two enemy towers for a few seconds. That is the kind of power move that makes your opponent blink twice. The only downside? For an epic tower, its synergy options are let's say, minimalistic. It is basically the lone wolf of artillery. Next up are the Archery Scouts, a rare barrack tower that feels like the overachieving archer kids who never miss practice. They increase their own critical chance every time they hit an enemy, which is always fun. They even boost the range of one of your friendly ranged heroes, adding a tiny extra sprinkle of tactical goodness. But here is the catch. Their maximum level player versus player skills only activate if they are not shooting anything on your side. So they are either doing absolutely nothing or suddenly doing everything. There is no in-between. Holy Sanctuary enters the scene as the rare magic tower that just wants everyone to stay safe and hydrated. It reduces incoming damage to friendly units in its area, which instantly makes your frontline feel like they are wearing emotional support armor. At maximum level, it power boosts your other towers and heals your units. However, it really shines only when paired with barracks and heroes. If you try to use it in random builds, it becomes that one friend who shows up to the party but does not talk to anyone. Then we have the Hunter Outpost, a rare ranged tower that comes with its own personal air force. It sends eagles flying around to deal damage across large zones, making it ideal for your backline as long as you have strong crowd control up front. And when you max it out, those eagles can fly to the enemy's side and start pecking their units like an angry burb on a mission. As if that was not enough, the maximum level upgrade also gives the tower bear traps. Delightfully rude little surprises that damage and briefly stun anything that steps on them. Of course, placing the Hunter Outpost correctly is its own minigame. It can be awkward, like trying to fit a giant sofa through a narrow doorway. But if you get it right, the payoff is huge, and your opponents learn very quickly to fear both birds and bears. Nature truly is terrifying. Now let us talk about the Sorcerer Mage, the common magic tower that punches way above its weight class. Its specialty is shredding physical armor from enemy targets, and when it reaches maximum level, it unleashes absolute chaos by turning enemies into sheep with dramatically lowered stats. On top of that, it summons earth elementals that march down the field like rocky bodyguards. For a common tower, that is a lot of personality. However, here is the awkward part. Reducing physical armor encourages you to build a mixed composition, and mixed compositions fall off later in the game. So while the Sorcerer Mage is incredibly fun early on, it becomes a weird puzzle piece later. Useful, but not in every setup. Moving on to the beginner-friendly Mage Tower, the most approachable magic tower in the game. It fits beautifully into early magic-focused strategies and is extremely easy to max out. Once fully upgraded, it gets buffs that improve its damage, and even a player versus player ability that gives mobs on the enemy side magic shields. It is simple, snappy, and reliable, but reliability only takes you so far. The Mage Tower is eventually outclassed by stronger magic options, and once you unlock those, this tower quickly becomes the job intern who is technically doing fine, but is definitely not running the company. And that is the heart of the A tier. Towers that bring real value, offer strong utility, and can absolutely carry parts of your strategy while still having that one flaw holding them back from legendary status. Maybe it is synergy, maybe it is scaling, maybe it is awkward positioning, or maybe it is just the fact that an eagle cannot solve all your problems, though it tries. Still, if you slot these towers into the right build, they will treat you extremely well. They give you power without chaos, consistency without boredom, and enough spice to keep your matches exciting. They are the heroes who show up, do the job, and do not make your life harder. And honestly, sometimes that is exactly what you need. A little reliability, a little crowd control, and maybe, just maybe, an angry eagle flying across the battlefield to ruin someone's day. The towers in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Battle Mecha, Blazing Gem, Necromancer, Arcane Wizard, Archmage, Glacial Druid, Ranger's Hideout, Musketeer Garrison, Barbarian's Mead Hall, and Tesla X 104. There is something magical about S-tier towers. They do not just perform well, they enter the battlefield with the confidence of someone who read the patch notes before everyone else. These are the towers you drop when you want your opponent to silently question their life choices. Let us take a tour through the absolute best of the best. First up is Battle Mecha, the legendary artillery tower that basically tells your entire team, relax, no one is getting stunned today. Its buff prevents friendly towers from being disabled, which alone is wild. But then it casually launches mines onto the opponent's side for extra player versus player chaos. The passives pile on even more armor manipulation, decreasing armor on enemies while increasing armor on your allies. Once it reaches maximum level, it throws out slowing effects and swarms of homing missiles that look like a fireworks show designed by someone who hates mobs. The only thing holding Battle Mecha back is the cost. Maxing out a legendary is like taking your gold to a casino and willingly losing it all. Next, we have Blazing Gem, the legendary magic tower that wakes up every morning and chooses destruction. It fires sequences of damaging rays that sometimes instantly delete enemies from existence. When those enemies die, they combust, which is both rude and beautiful. This tower works insanely well in magic teams, where it boosts all magical damage and reduces spell cooldowns. At maximum level, it attacks twice, summons an Eldritch Magus that deals true damage, and even enters a protective state that increases magic resistance for allies. The only downside? It is legendary, meaning your economy will cry. The Necromancer steps in as the epic magic tower that focuses on pure, relentless offense. It sends skeletons marching to the opponent's side like a bony little army, making it one of the best player versus player harassment towers in the game. And once you upgrade it fully, it becomes a nightmare, unleashing the powerful skeleton horsemen straight into the enemy lanes. On top of that, it supports hero-dependent teams by shaving time off their respawn. The drawback is simple. It does not protect your own lanes nearly as well as it terrorizes your opponents. Arcane Wizard is another epic magic tower, specializing in erasing magic resistance from enemies. Even traditionally magic tanky mobs melt under its influence. Its passive also boosts the damage of all your team's spells, making every spell drop feel extra punchy. Maxing it out grants utility like backward teleportation crowd control and a powerful single-target blast. It does not handle hordes well on its own, but as a support piece, it is top-tier brilliance. The Archmage joins the lineup with an obsession for pure magic damage. Once it is fully maxed out, it gains pushback crowd control, letting you bully enemies back up the lane. In player versus player mode, it even tosses your own units onto your opponent's side like some kind of magical catapult. Its passive expands the area of your spells too. The biggest problem is that it barely contributes to player versus player until it reaches maximum level. Now we have Glacial Druid, the rare artillery tower that is secretly one of the strongest forms of crowd control in the entire game. It freezes enemies at a cheap cost and even grants a speed buff to slower heroes. Being a rare tower makes it easy to max out, and once you do, it goes wild, freezing a chosen enemy tower and sending frost giants stomping toward the opponent's side. It is cold, rude, and extremely effective. Ranger's Hideout proves that common towers can absolutely hang with the big boys. This ranged tower brings crowd control, damage, and affordability all in one package. Because it is so easy to max, you quickly unlock its extra skills. One sends Wolfence to your opponent, and the other applies poison over time to your enemies. Place it near the front for maximum poison coverage, and you have one of the strongest early player versus player tools available. Musketeer Garrison joins the common squad as a high-value ranged tower that pierces armor like it is made of paper. Once fully upgraded, it fires explosive shells that deal area damage. Even better, it gains a precision strike against the opponent's units, which has a small chance to instantly kill them. For a common tower, this thing hits like it has something to prove. Barbarians. Mead Hall stands as the absolute best barrack tower in the entire game. Its barbarians do not just fight, they spin around the lanes like chaotic Beyblades, shredding anything in their path. At maximum level, a third barbarian appears on the platform itself to rain axes down on enemies. The only limitation is the nature of barrack towers in general. Their summons cannot carry entire matches alone. But if barracks were ever going to be top tier, it would be because of this one. Finally, Tesla X-104, the rare artillery tower with lightning speed attacks. Literally. It fires rapid arcs of electricity and gives moving allies a speed boost. At maximum level, it has a 50% chance to electrocute nearby enemies, making Crossroads ideal. It even gains a player versus player skill that disables opponent towers entirely, which is basically a guaranteed win button if timed right. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.